What's going on, you guys? This is RBG, aka The Random Black Gamer, bringing you a breakdown on the latest trailer for Marvel's Wolverine. After what seems like an eternity, we finally got some new gameplay to talk about. There's also story beats and certain characters that you may have missed that we're going to talk about today. But before we dive into today's topic, I want to ask you guys to do me the biggest favor and like this video. Yeah, I know it's a bit annoying getting this request at the very beginning of a video before you watch it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm gonna bring in that awesome content, then smash that like button. And if by any chance you are new to this channel and you feel like I've wasted 10 minutes of your time that you can't get back, then feel free to retract that like and give it a dislike. Just rate the video. But yeah, guys, as you are aware, Insomniac Games and PlayStation have been cooking up something nice with the Bouncing Berserker, which is saying a lot because it's been 4 years since we got that first reveal trailer, and we've had to wait patiently to see what they had in store for us. And understandably so. The delay with this follow-up trailer can be largely attributed to the ransom attack that happened in 2023, where early alpha gameplay portions of the game leaked online. There's also the fact that this game had a change in creative director somewhere during development. But alas, we're finally here and we have some new gameplay as well as a good look at what Wolverine is going to look like. And like I said in my previous video, if you thought that the gameplay was going to look anything like those early builds, then you were sorely mistaken, because this new team that they have associated with Wolverine, we're going to take things to the next level, and this game wasn't going to look anything like it did in those early leaks. And I just gotta say that this is by far the best looking game that Insomniac Games has produced on the PlayStation 5 hardware, which says a lot because Marvel Spider-Man 2 was already a beautiful and breathtaking game to look at, but this game right here, it just has that very realistic vibe going for it, where the textures as well as the overall atmosphere has a grittier look than anything we've seen before from Insomniac Games, which makes sense. Like, it's not gonna be all gloomy like it was in Spider-Man, because Wolverine is a very dark and gritty character, and what he does isn't so pretty. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of blood and visceral activity going on with this character. But anyways, the trailer starts off with Wolverine slashing and dismembering a cybernetically enhanced character. And for those of you who aren't aware, this particular type of character is known as a Reaver, which originates from the original Uncanny X-Men comics. They were this assassination squadron consisting of individuals who had been heavily modified with cybernetic enhancements to help them deal with the X-Men as well as Wolverine. And as you can see throughout the trailer, there are going to be a lot of these enemy types that all feature robotic limbs with some kind of weapon attached to them. And if you had any worries about them watering down the violence with Wolverine, then you can put those worries to rest, because as you can see, Wolverine is going to be doing so many different things to these Reavers that's going to kind of make you feel bad for him. But anyways, let's talk about the main man himself, Wolverine, and how he actually looks. If you guys heard me talk about the leaks, I mentioned that I wasn't too keen on how Wolverine looked, and I hope that his final version was a lot different from what we had seen. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, he does look different from what we saw in those early leaked builds. Now, one of the things that I was really thrown off by was how small his frame was, because Wolverine, he is a beefy boy in the comic books. He is in no way tall, dark, and handsome like he's been depicted in all the live action movies with Hugh Jackman. No, he's very much rough around the edges, and I feel like the character designers captured that brilliantly with this, because even though he does look short, he looks like he packs a big punch. And when he's not mounting on walls with his claws, he's gonna be mounting on actual enemies, as you see with this poor guy who thinks that he has a grip on Wolverine, only to have his face meet some adamantium claws. But anyways, we gotta talk about the locations, because unlike the Marvel Spider-Man games, Marvel's Wolverine looks to be a globe-trotting adventure where you're gonna be in different locations. Based on this frosty location, it's safe to assume that this is going to be Canada, which is the birthplace of Logan and where he got his early start as an agent of the Canadian government. It's also the place where he would have his entire skeletal system coated in adamantium and receive his notorious claws. And it looks like this scene is going to be featured prominently throughout the game, where Logan occasionally goes back to his home country and has to deal with the Reavers. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has to deal with characters from his past, such as William Stryker and his brother Sabretooth. During the trailer, you can see him actually slashing at enemies in this location, as well as riding down a mountain trail on his signature motorcycle, which I have a nag suspicion will be one of his sources of transportation, and it will also be featured in these cinematic set pieces as you see here. But moving on, the next place we have is the island of Madripoor, and we see Wolverine walking into one of its most notorious spots, the Princess bar. We actually got a chance to see this location in the first reveal trailer, and I have a nagging suspicion that Wolverine's going to be throwing down in this particular bar, because that's usually how it goes down. But moving on, it's from there that we see the actual gameplay and what Wolverine is going to really be doing. And I can honestly say that it looks very much akin to what we saw with the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie tie-in video game, which if you played that game, then you know that this is the ultimate compliment to give this title, because that's what fans have been asking for, a more polished version of the gameplay that came associated with that particular title. And it looks like Insomniac Games has taken notes and applied their style to it, like a little mixture of what we've gotten with Marvel's Spider-Man, except a more brutal and visceral style with Wolverine. It's going to feature launch attacks where Wolverine lunges from across the room and pounces on nearby enemies. And it looks like melee isn't just going to be exclusive to his claws, he's also going to actually have some kicks that he can use, which I am very happy about, because I don't want to just see him slashing away, I want to see him use his entire body to wreak shop on enemies. I'm also hoping to be able to retract his claws and go bare knuckles, since it is still covered in adamantium and it will do a lot of damage. You know, things that's going to make the gameplay very versatile, like choke slamming a character or something along those lines. Now, in regards to the overall dismemberment, I did notice that when Wolverine is just freely slashing away, no arms or anything are getting cut off, it looks like when you do a special grab animation, like when Spider-Man does his special attack pressing triangle and circle, that's when you're going to activate those brutal finishers where it involves Wolverine sticking his claw in somebody's head or cutting off an arm or a leg. And it looks like he's going to be able to do counters for anybody that tries to sneak up on him, like this poor woman right here who gets claws lodged right between her cornrows. I also want to point out that this location seems to be Tokyo, Japan, which was already listed on the PlayStation blog for Marvel's Wolverine. And if you know anything about Wolverine and his connection to the land of the rising sun, then you know it comes with its fair share of issues, which revolve around a samurai coated in silver, as well as a woman that has claws, who we know as Lady Deathstrike, a character who is not only romantically involved with Logan, but also has an origin connected to the adamantium bonding process, in which she blamed Logan of stealing from her father. She's also been known to work with the Reavers, and I would not be surprised if she makes an appearance in this game. Now, somebody that we know will in fact be making an appearance in this game and will most likely be a primary antagonist to Wolverine would be his rival Omega Red, which we see him jump on Wolverine and restrict him with his tentacles, which are made from carbondanium, a cheaper alternative metal to that of adamantium. And these particular weapons have been a thorn in Wolverine's side, because even though Wolverine possesses the ability to heal at a rapid rate, the tentacles can actually slow down his healing, since they have radioactive properties that poison its victims. And once wrapped around you, they can actually drain your life force, as it looks like he's doing right here in this clip with Wolverine. And I just gotta say it, I have no doubt that this dude is gonna be one of the biggest boss fights in the game, because of the long-standing rivalry he has with Wolverine, and I can't wait to see how he plays. But the next character that we have, and it's a very brief yet cool shot, is Mystique, a yellow-eyed, blue-skinned shapeshifter who can mimic the appearance and voice of anybody that she looks at. As you can see in the trailer, it looks like she's disguised herself as one of the Reavers, and it looks like she's going to possess all of her secondary skills, such as hand-to-hand combat and mastery of weapons. If you notice the way she transforms, it's very similar to how she did it in the live-action movies, particularly the Singer X-Men movies, where her skin features these scales that sort of unfurl as she changes in and out of these different forms. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that Insomniac Games has learned based on their experience with the symbiote, because we saw something very similar with how things would seamlessly change with certain effects from the actual liquid alien symbiote goo, except this time it's being done with these scales. But anyways, it looks like she's managed to infiltrate the secret layer of the Reavers, and if this layer is anything like the comics, then you know that it's going to have a lot of artillery and robotics. But moving on, we got to talk about the traversal mechanics for Wolverine. Like I said, I think his motorcycle is going to be one of his main forms of transportation, but while he's on foot, he's going to be doing a lot of jumping and leaping from different locations. And something that's been the main topic of conversation in regards to this gameplay aspect is how similar it's going to function to that of Spider-Man, because people always say that, oh, it's just Spider-Man, based on the leaked alpha footage that they've seen from this game. And I honestly don't get where they're coming from with this, because Wolverine's and Spider-Man's traversal gameplay are night and day. Whenever you see Spider-Man, he's very light and agile, but when I look at Wolverine, he's very heavy and aggressive, especially based on these shots where we see him frantically sliding down a cliff, a corrugated metal roof, And this tower right here, where it looks like he just got finished wrecking shop and now the tower is in ruins, and now he needs to figure out how he's gonna scale down it. And I gotta remind you guys that Wolverine is extremely heavy due to the adamantium skeleton that he has in his body, so he's not gonna be free falling very slowly like we see with Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales. He's gonna be descending at a rapid rate, and he's gonna need those claws to slow down his descent, which we see him do in multiple instances here. So no guys, this isn't Spider-Man traversal, this is James Logan Howlett aka Wolverine traversal we're talking about here, so put some respect on his name. But moving on, the last thing that we have to talk about is one of the biggest bosses that Wolverine is going to go up against, and arguably the most dangerous enemy that any mutant has gone up against, the Sentinel. Giant robots programmed with the sole intention of hunting and killing mutants. These guys are highly resistant to damage and possess extreme capabilities such as super strength as well as flight. They can also shoot projectiles from their hands and possibly their eyes like this one looks like it's about to do. And also, if you notice, it looks like it's rising from the rubble, and I'm just going to go ahead and guess that this is possibly the same location that we see Wolverine sliding down that tower in, because when you slow down the footage, you'll briefly see a shot of Wolverine passing by a sign that says Trask on it. And if you guys are familiar with that name, then you know it's commonly associated with the Sentinels, that being Bolivar Trask, who was responsible for creating them. And this fight can go any way. Like, we know that you can essentially fight these things while they're grounded and just walking. We'll probably see Wolverine kind of chop it down to size or begin to claw his way up to it until he reaches a vital component that he needs to strike in order to shut it down. I also can see it playing out similar to how it did in the X-Men Origins Wolverine game, where it takes flight and Wolverine has to destroy it. Whatever the case may be, you just know that this is going to be one of the most epic boss battles Insomniac has ever put in any of their games. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown because I had a blast making it. There's obviously going to be more clues that we get down the line, and I will report those to you in a timely manner. We're going to try to get back on board like we used to do with the Spider-Man videos, so hopefully you guys stay glued to your computers and you check those notifications so you can see if I've uploaded anything. But until then, what are your thoughts about this? Are you excited about what you've seen, or does it not look that much different from the leaked videos that we've gotten a while back? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the different social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.